It's the morning weather briefing. This is for Tuesday, the 1st of October. I must say, I think this is my favorite month. Typically, the weather is beautiful. We don't have any really big high impact events, or at least not that often. However, we are watching the tropics. Hurricane season runs through the end of November. So we'll take a look at the tropical system and much more as we go. Here's the upper air look around the nation early this morning. And again, we've got a weak flow aloft here. A pretty sharp trough over the upper Midwest and parts of central Canada. Nothing on the radar this morning. That's all ground return you see there. Temperatures are in the 60s for most of the state. Low 70s in South Alabama. Highs today should be over 80 in most spots. The average high for the state is 82. We'll be fairly close to that today. Watch warning map, very quiet across the nation this morning. Got some heat issues in California. Red flag warnings up north, and a dense fog advisory for parts of western and middle Tennessee. Hey, no severe storms expected across the country today. Again, October can be really quiet. In fact, for Alabama, this is typically the driest month of the year based on climatology. Tomorrow, awfully quiet. Same thing on Thursday. There might be a rumble of thunder near the Gulf Coast, but again, probably not that much rain. In fact, speaking of not much rain, look at this. The entire western half of the country dry except for Seattle. And for Alabama, this is the rain ballot through Tuesday morning of next week. And just basically nothing meaningful for the northern two-thirds of the state. And yes, a chance of showers for the Gulf Coast. And if you're headed down that way, which, by the way, is a marvelous month as well, if you're beach-bound, October, yes, a chance of showers Thursday, Friday, maybe a few showers over the weekend. But understand the sun's going to be out at times. Rain not especially heavy, not raining all day. So in the tropics, let's look at the big picture here. A potential tropical low in the western Caribbean. Joyce, off the board. It's fizzled. NHC has issued its last advisory. That's the one out there in the middle of the Atlantic. Kirk in the eastern Atlantic. And a tropical wave that's come off the coast of Africa. Of course, we'll be watching this potential tropical low that's coming up into the southern Gulf. The Hurricane Center giving this a 40% chance of developing. The new wave coming off the coast of Africa with a high chance of becoming a depression or storm. However, if this develops, it most likely turns north. This is NVEST 91L. So we're not going to worry about that one. And again, Kirk could be a powerful hurricane by the time we get to the weekend here. But this will be turning north, northeast. Again, middle of nowhere, no threat to land. So obviously the focus here, it's going to be on that little feature. And we'll take a look at the probabilistic outlook coming off the European global model. And we do note the probability of tropical storm formation, that's what you're seeing here, is now a little over 50% over the central Gulf, far south of Mobile Bay. And again, you can see the idea here from the ensemble, and that's what you want to do. The deterministic is always interesting, but this is what you want to see for the range of possibilities. And this is the mean. Most members push it toward the Florida Peninsula, not the Panhandle, if anything forms at all. And here's a look at the individual members. Again, you got 51 members of the European ensemble. Only one of the 51 members move it up toward Mobile Bay, and that's a very weak 1004 millibar low. Most of the other members just meander this thing around in the Gulf. We got a few that push it toward the peninsula, again, not the Panhandle. But it just sure looks like, if anything forms, it will be relatively weak. It will stay south of the central Gulf Coast. But again, as always, we'll be watching. In fact, let's look at modeling. Model fans. The GFS, this is the 06Z run, valid today at 4 o'clock. Little trough onto the east, ridging over the western states. And again, for us, the chance of a shower really small. For North Alabama, not zero, but under 20%, barely worth mentioning. Partly sunny with low 80s. This is the high-resolution HER, valid this evening at 6 o'clock, and any showers probably over Tennessee. But again, there could be one over the Tennessee Valley. Tomorrow, warm and dry, mid-80s. Now, Thursday, moisture comes up into South Alabama, so a chance of showers Thursday over the southern third of the state. North Alabama stays dry. And Friday, we will mention a chance of isolated showers statewide, but a little trough. But again, the moisture very limited. Many places won't see a drop of rain, but there could be a shower around on Friday or Friday evening, so keep that in mind. This is Saturday, the weekend looking warm and dry. Highs in the mid-80s. Same thing on Sunday. We know the tropical low, a weak one, south of the coast of Louisiana. This is Monday, that tropical low drifting south. Again, most of Alabama warm and dry. And this is a week from today, Tuesday, the 8th of October. Again, a pretty good vortex east of Cape Cod, the main mid-latitude westerlies to the north. And again, we've got a tropical low, 997 millibars south of Destin. And again, that's a relatively weak feature. Most of Alabama staying dry. So let's go out 10 days. This is Thursday of next week, the 10th of October. Pretty impressive ridging over much of the contiguous United States. And again, a little weak low in the Gulf. But the GFS doesn't do anything with it. The European doesn't do anything with it. And again, if anything tries to form, again, a lot of the members, want to kind of push it toward the South Florida, the peninsula, as a weak rainmaker. So at the moment, the potential tropical system looks weak. If anything develops, and it stays south of the central Gulf Coast. But again, we'll be watching for changes. Rain for Birmingham, not a lot. This is valid through October the 16th, about 1/2 inch, and that's it. And again, October typically is the driest month of the year here. And then next month, what happens? Tornado season begins. For those that are new here or don't know, tornado season in Alabama is November through May. November through May. So after a dry, quiet October, typically things start to pick up in the weather office then. Look at all the 80s on the board here through Monday of next week. And then we'll see a cooler air mass for much of next week after Monday, with highs dropping in the mid to upper 70s and lows in the 50s. That'll feel awfully good. Latest long-range guidance, this is for October 8th through the 14th. Temperatures near average for the deep south and the eastern U.S., above average out west. Ooh, fall. October is here. Now, this is not Alabama. This is up in New Hampshire. These images were taken yesterday, and they're getting into their peak color soon in New England. It's a marvelous time to be there. And down here, typically the colors peak at the end of October, the first week in November. But again, the latter half of October into November, typically we see some pretty good color around here. Gulf Coast looking good. That looks like the Perdido Pass on the Alabama Gulf Coast. But we're getting into the time of the year where the sun goes down over the water for most of the coastal locations as we get closer to the winter solstice. But again, we can be very thankful. Things are nice and calm. And again, we are so blessed to be on the good side of that nasty hurricane. The situation is just horrible in southern Appalachia. The hardest hit areas, people are asking, why aren't we seeing a lot out of Florida? Well, Helene came in that Big Bend region, which is a very sparsely populated part of Florida. It just didn't affect as many people there, where the population density is much higher and around Asheville, North Carolina, and surrounding places like that. But again, we're so fortunate. Up this way, the sunset was gorgeous last night. I do believe that is Duncan Bridge up at Smith Lake. So this morning, I'm headed to Muscle Shoals. Speaking to Muscle Shoals Middle School. Tomorrow, going to be in Moundville, Hale County, Moundville Elementary School. Thursday, going to be down in Butler County. Hey, rural South Alabama, where I come from. All my people are from places like Chapman, Georgiana, Ebenezer, Industry, McKenzie. I'll be at McKenzie School on Thursday. And then Friday, got a homeschool group in Decatur. Saturday, there is no book signing. I'll be in Demopolis Saturday evening. I'll be hosting the Miss Christmas on the River pageant. I've done that thing off and on for, I can't tell you how long. It's been 40 years, I think. Wow. But they're a big Christmas on the River event. It's really amazing. It's typically that first week in December, but that'll be their pageant this Saturday night. And the next video here by 3 o'clock or so this afternoon. Don't forget to watch us this evening. If you can, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.